and this is Sagar, this is Humphrey, and we are students of ECU, Mount Lawley, doing our Masters in Professional Accounting. So, yeah, we'll be discussing about the challenges faced in family businesses, and there are many challenges faced in family businesses, and to list a few, there are emotions, there are lack of talent, there are succession planning, exit strategy, and so to begin with emotions. So what do you think, Sagar? So in emotions, how does emotions is such a big concept that especially when it comes to family, the first thing you think of is emotions. So what do you think? How it can hamper a family business?
Yeah, just as you said, when it comes to family, it's always emotions, all right? If you consider a separate business or separate business organization, yeah, the way they work is that they actually recruit outsiders to run the business. But with the family business, we've got the insiders. We've got the head of the family who's actually heading the family. It could be probably be the father, and we've got the sons who are actually managing the business for them. Now, when it comes to a family business, there are emotions involved because if you look at certain cultures, like if you look at the Indian culture, for example, or if you look at the Italian culture, we've got the element of respect. The younger person is supposed to respect the elder person. Now, what if the younger son is against a strategy that is being implemented by the elder son or by the father?
Idea.
Correct. Yeah. So it's like, how am I supposed to approach my elder brother and tell him that, no, hey, listen, I mean, this, what you're doing is wrong.
He can be dominant.
He can be dominant, correct. So that's going to negatively impact on the running of the business, and that's also going to worsen their relationship.
There can be another angle to it. So like if the father of the business, who is actually the head of the business,
correct,
if he thinks that the younger person is right, the elder person can have ego issues. That will, what if he exits the place? What if his knowledge is very important to the business? Then it's all confusion, isn't it?
Ego, respect, all these things come into the picture of business, which is a different issue. I mean, it's supposed to be free of these elements.
Elements, yeah.
Correct.
It shouldn't get involved in a business, but it will definitely when it comes to a family, doesn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, to add another perspectives, we are talking about emotions. Emotions in a family. You know, a family is a unit that is tied together with a very strong bond. And emotions comes to play when it comes to business, because when you talk of business and money, it's a very emotive issue. You can imagine in a business, you as a son, you are maybe a head of a department. Then you find that your father and your mother are having problems to an extent that they want to divorce. Will you concentrate in working hard to make sure that the business achieves its goals?
What you are saying here is a very, very, very important point, because such problems like divorce and all sorts of those kind of things will completely lose focus. The members of the family, they will lose focus on what they are supposed to do.
Exactly.
The objective of the business is hampered here. That would wreak havoc, really.
Yeah, another example. Assuming one of the members dies.
Oh.
What happens? Because all the emotions will be focused on the lost member of the family.
The business will lose its direction.
Exactly.
Direction, yes.
To an extent of even they have to close the business and bury the member of the family who has departed. And that one impacts negatively the performance of the business.
And what if the member who departed was heading the organization?
Exactly.
Who's going to head the organization? That's where we come, succession.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes, succession and planning, exit strategy. If there is no exit strategy, that's a real big problem, because as you said, when the one head of the business departs or exits the company, when there is no exit strategy, the whole business is gone.
Correct.
Who is going to do next and who is going to do what? Even if they plan and put some elder brother or elder sister or somebody to take over the business, yes, not going to have any idea of what.
You see, Raja, the thing is, if you compare a family business with a public company, if in a public company a director dies, the director is replaced by another director. But in a family business, if the main person, the person who's actually heading the business, dies, who is supposed to replace the business organization? That's a question in a family business.
Big question mark.
Correct.
Yeah, very big question, because you see, we also have family politics when it comes to family business. The demise of one of the members of the family definitely will set in family politics. Who is supposed to take over? Maybe a sister, a brother, let this one take over because he's older than this, let this one take over because he's more talented, let maybe a cousin of mine who is maybe in the US who is more talented to come and take this. So you will have a very big problem when it comes to replacing the
Yes,
member
yes,
of
yes.
the family who has maybe exited from that
Yes.
business.
Talking about this brings about to my mind a very, very, very important point, which is lack of written strategy,
Written
documentation.
strategy. There you go.
Absolutely, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like in a corporate or a company, there's always guidelines. We follow guidelines. Even in a small retail store, there are numerous amount of guidelines they follow.
Correct.
If an employee have to even in induction program, they have to follow those guidelines. They teach us like what policies you have to follow, even if it can sound silly at that time,
Yeah.
but later when the actual problem occurs, this guidelines will help you on how to handle it. And the another factor which is very important here is when there are no guidelines, when you face a particular situation, the thing that comes to you is panic. You
Correct.
panic. You don't know what to do next.
Correct. I think a written strategy and documentation is extremely crucial
Yeah.
for the proper running and functioning of a business. Okay,
Yeah.
if a business does not have proper guidelines, it will definitely lose its direction. In
Yeah.
case of a bad situation, or in case of a low, when the business hits a low, these are guidelines that you're supposed to follow, and these guidelines will actually help you come out of that situation. But in case of a family business, it's the family that makes these guidelines.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, these guys will actually think that they can actually run over or they can not obey these guidelines. Okay, so that's what the family members think. All right, they're the policy makers basically. So I feel that in a family business, even if these guidelines or written strategies are
Yeah.
there, I don't think they will be followed by the family members themselves. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that is a very important point because there can be no guidelines and the family business goes to hell. Who cares? But when there are guidelines, still it becomes dangerous because there are certain members of the family don't want to follow the procedures.
Correct.
They just want to do whatever they like.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Again, as far as maybe the written strategy is there, as much as it is there, just as a formality,
Correct. It's a formality.
they will not follow it. On the other side, you find that some of these family businesses may entirely not have that written strategy.
Yeah.
They depend on oral directions being given by the family members,
Family
maybe
members.
the father, because the father is the final person and the buck stops with him.
Yeah.
He may decide to be giving oral orders
Yes.
within the business, and that's
Correct.
very dangerous.
Yeah.
You see, we must have those written rules.
Yeah.
Just in case of any controversy, you can always refer that written rules
Yes.
that has been put on paper and
Exactly.
remind the members of the business that this is the way towards achieving our objectives.
Correct.
So
When you
when
talk-
it comes to a written strategy, in a family business, it may be there written, yes, and therefore it qualifies to be not written by members not following that strategy. On the other hand, it may completely not be there, and therefore following oral directions being given by
It's not possible.
members, yeah.
When you talk about father, the point that comes to my mind is overly conservative families.
Correct.
It leads to dictatorship. Like the father, who is the head, he has say on everything. It's like whatever the father says, the people the other members of the family, they have to follow it, even if it's wrong.
I agree with you completely on that point, Raja.
Yes.
Now, what I really, really feel on this part, yeah, is that some fathers, I mean, being the head of the organization, what they say is
Hello.
the gospel truth.
Yeah.
All right, that's what you're supposed to follow. Now, if I have this idea, or if I studied abroad and I actually studied different organizations that are successful after following a particular idea or a plan, and I take it to my father, and he just doesn't agree to my idea. I mean,
Yeah.
that's gonna cause a break in our relationship, and I don't know. It's like you've got to follow what he says. I mean, your
Yeah.
ideas have no accommodation.
That's extreme pressure as well because when you say you know a lot of things and your father says you have to do this and you believe that this is wrong, then it is like peer pressure. It's like you have to think, you have to how do I do it? So you have to adjust to your father's plans.
There is no otherwise. You cannot
Yeah.
go against your father,
Exactly. That
or
is
else
no
you'll be
otherwise.
out of your family business. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no room for my ideas, my thoughts. And what if my ideas were better than my father's ideas?
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. So one of the very important points here I would like to discuss about is training. training. We all know that any big company, any multinational company, or even at these days any small companies as well, always follow a particular level of training procedures. How important is this training is where if an employee doesn't have a proper induction program, he doesn't have what the objective of the company is, he doesn't have what the company is actually trying to aim for or look for in the next month, what level of consistency are they looking for, and also how they want you to follow the procedure or the processes and perform your processes, then it's very difficult for the employee to have good idea of what to do. So he will do whatever he likes, and obviously it will end up really bad. But in a family business, definitely, not definitely, there are many good family business which follow training procedures as well. But when it comes to a family procedure not following a training procedure, what do you think will happen?
First of all, the question is, in a family business, who trains who? Yeah, who am I supposed to be trained by? If you look at a corporation, I mean, these guys have proper procedures that they actually implement. This is your module. This is your induction module. Like, for example, I currently work as a part-time console operator. When I first took my job, we had this induction training, and thereafter I had to spend 4 shifts with another experienced person who
Yes.
actually trained me.
Yeah.
With a family business, it's like, who is training who? Is it the elder training the younger? So am I supposed to follow what the elder person says? Did the elder person receive adequate training? So I think that's, and secondly, a family person, a family member, sometimes just because of the privilege of being a family member, sometimes these guys don't even go through the training procedures properly. That's what I feel.
Hence why there are always certain companies actually employ trainers.
Correct.
Exactly.
Does a family business employ trainers?
No, they
Yeah,
might not.
yeah.
They might think that it's a budget constraint actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, trainings are very important aspects when it comes to the development of the human resource or the personnel within any family or any business. Now, when it comes to a family business setup, the question is, with all the family politics, who is supposed to be trained? Where is he supposed to go for training? And therefore, it becomes a very big problem in developing the personnel, or in this case, the family members, so that they can perform their duties and responsibilities effectively and efficiently. And therefore, training is hampered when it comes to the family businesses, and that one impacts negatively in the performance of the business. And therefore, efficiency, professionalism sometimes lacks in family businesses because of lack of training or inadequate training, or because maybe the father who is the CEO is not aware, is very ignorant about the training opportunities and the importance of training within a family business.
And some of
Yes.
these guys, we find that family businesses are actually headed by the patriarchs, the fathers. Some of these don't. Some of these guys. I mean, I'm not pounding on them or negatively or something. But I feel that in their generation, they did not have so much of importance on training. Training was something that you actually learned. I mean, training was something that you actually did while you were at work. I mean, you would work with some other guy and you would learn from your mistakes. But these days, training has taken a whole new different approach when they're actually teaching you everything. So these guys don't know the importance of training.
Yeah.
And that's the reason family businesses, I think some of the family members would be inadequately trained. I
Yeah,
think.
and sometimes the workshops and the seminars may be there, but the members of the family who have been tasked to go and train and advance their skills and experience may not take it seriously. Why? Because why should I struggle? And this is our business. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for this and so maybe to die so that I get to that position and enjoy all the privileges. So the training may not be taken as
Seriously.
as to maybe corporate operations or to the universal business operations, because you know that this is our own business. So there's no need to struggle or improve myself.
And I think from that point, I can think of one more thing. If I'm an employee who's working for a family business and I have ideas, I know that I have no opportunities to grow. Because, I mean, that position is definite. That position is fixed. So even if I have better ideas and better skills compared to that
I'm
particular...
going nowhere.
Yeah, you're going nowhere. You've got no opportunity for growth in a family business.
Business, yeah.
So that's, you will reach a particular position when your ideas are actually being rejected by the family members and you feel that, oh my God, I have no place in this organization.
Yeah.
I've got no respect. So you will look for another organization and that's going to impact on the family business. High turnover of non-family members.
Non-family members.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got no opportunity. I mean, at the end of the day, a family member, regardless of how talented or skilled or inexperienced he might be, he still gets his position, okay? So at the end of the day, if another employee who's better qualified and better trained and better experienced compared to this so-called family member will leave the organization, he will not be part of the family business because he's not getting that position. So he might decide to leave this organization and go to another organization that gives him that position that he so wants.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
to add on that, you find that you as a non-family member, you are taken as a foreigner within that business.
Ah, yes.
And therefore, whatever expertise that you have, however learned you are, however knowledgeable you are,
Yeah.
when it comes to a meeting discussing about maybe the way forward on how to improve the business, you see, your contribution will be taken as foreign.
Oh, yes.
Because this is our
Yeah.
business. Whatever we decide is law. You have to follow or you quit.
You're
And
just
that
an
one-
outsider.
yeah, and that one, you can imagine
Yeah.
you being a foreigner in that business. You will not stomach that. Of course, you look for other opportunities whereby your contribution will be valued and your growth will also be appreciated. And therefore, in family businesses, we have a very high turnover of non-family members because of those family politics and the attitude of foreigners in
Oh,
our
yes.
business.
In business, correct.
All right. All right. All these points we discussed about emotions, successful planning, training,
Yeah.
brings to me that there is one possibility, only one possibility that happens with the challenges that a family business face. That is inconsistency. So a business, let's say a business is doing extremely well at the moment, and it has been doing very well for some time, and later on, due to lack of training, lack of practice, lack of procedures, and due to some emotions, diverse
And succession problems.
and succession problems,
Yes.
exit strategy, lack
Correct.
of exit strategy,
Yes.
the family might face a huge loss in the next annual year, or it can even go vanish out of nowhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I mean, as much as a family business can be successful, there are lots and lots of disadvantages associated with the management part of a family business.
Yes,
And I
yes.
feel all these problems. I mean, just the way you say it, a family business can be doing extremely well for a particular period of time,
Yeah.
and it could be like making lots and lots of profits. Everything's going on well, but just the death of a sudden, a major family member can lead to a standstill of the business
Standstill
and stuff.
of the
Yeah.
business,
So
of course.
yeah, I mean,
So-
all these disadvantages are there.
Yeah, a company is a person by itself, so a company moves on if anything happens.
Correct.
But a family business, if something like this happens, it's not going to go further.
Correct.
It's stop. It stands still, as you said.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It will stand. Yeah, family business, so many family politics, succession politics, all these ones
Yeah,
are challenges that are facing these family businesses.
family business.
And when you look around the whole world, you find that the family businesses are becoming fewer and fewer because most of them are not being successful because of
On
these
the long term.
politics in the long term.
Yes.
Because there are so many infighting, there's a lot of patronage, there's
Yeah.
a lot of unprofessionalism, and that's why they're not surviving to see the 21st century.
When you talk about non-family member, I also think like when you think about taking in a non-family member, all the family members may not be happy about bringing him in.
Yes. Correct.
Exactly.
So yeah. Anyway, all these issues are there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, a family business, you need to sit down and you have to discuss and you have to think
Yeah.
hard about the long term.
About the long term, that's where the written strategy has to happen.
Correct.
Like, oh yes. So I'm just very tempted to just say something very interesting analogy I read in the internet today while trying to do a research on family businesses. So this is like when a father,
Yes.
it's a Mexican saying, that's what the internet quotation said.
Yeah.
So a father, he develops a business, makes it huge, and the son, he's born rich.
Yeah. He's born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Yeah.
And he completely destroys the business, and the grandson is born poor again. So it's back to square one.
So
Circle of life.
father developer, son rich, and grandson poor.
Poor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the story of a family business,
Yeah,
right?
circle of life.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
With that note, we'd like to conclude our discussion. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.